Imagine making sci-fi films on an Android phone and going on to getting noticed by J.J. Abrams, Kemi Adetiba, and Morgan Freeman. Hello and welcome to Nollywood Fellow, a channel where I talk Nollywood. And I've said this before, one thing of Nollywood that really draws me is the story of Nollywood itself. I mean, who doesn't like a good underdog story, right? And even though Nollywood as a whole are dark horses, there are many underdogs within Nigeria who are coming to the fore. And today I'm going to be talking about one of them. This is a young group of teenagers and young adults. I don't know if any of them are still teenagers. They were when they started off. Anyway, they call themselves the Critics Productions. And I must thank this friend of mine, Promise, for introducing me to them. And once I went through the content, I was like, boy, this is the kind of story that we all love. So this group consists of siblings and cousins who are obsessed with movies. Now they're from Kaduna, which is far from Lagos, far metaphorically, geographically, monetarily, in all aspects. And they started out recording on a laptop camera. And when one of the parents felt that they had the potential, he just gifted them an Android phone. And these kids, then they saved up enough money to buy a green curtain, which they could use as the backdrop so that they could, create CGI and all of that. And while they did this, they were learning CGI, they were learning everything they could about filmmaking from YouTube and from everything that was available online for free. So with this broken Android phone or this cracked Android phone and a green screen, they started making short films, like really short films, like 4 minutes on an average. And why were they so short? Because with power cuts and the kind of internet they had, they couldn't afford to upload movies that were any larger than that. Now, if you see that earlier films made on camera, nowhere does it look like the work of novices. I mean, yes, the lack of budget does show, but the sensibilities of these now adults, then young kids, is second to none. In 2019, the movie called Chase is what got them noticed. Kemi Adetiba from King of Boys fame was one of the first to notice their talent, and she even gave them a jig in King of Boys Part 2. You know, the whole action sequence with the flying bullets was something that these guys have worked on. And later on, they got noticed by people like Franklin Leonard, Scott Myers, and J.J. Abrams, the director of Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, and other such movies. And Morgan Freeman produced their last year's movie called Ogun Ola. Now, talking about the end product and their art, their earlier films are more of experimentation. It's more like them figuring out possibilities, what all they could do within their means, and how far they could go within their shortcomings of electricity, internet, and all of those things. And if you watch the short films chronologically, you can see that as we get closer to today, you can see the films getting bigger in production value and even in duration. Like the last year's movie Ogunola, which is produced by Morgan Freeman, was a spectacular movie, and the latest release was on Halloween. It's a scary thriller called Into the Woods, and it gets all the elements right for a horror movie as well as for a thriller movie. I remember last week when I spoke about Madame Koi Koi, which is out on Netflix, I had recommended people to check this one out instead. One thing that really stands out is how the critics are very different from Nollywood. And I don't mean it in a way that one is better than the other or putting either one of them down. When I say different, I mean in a very objective sense. Because these guys have things like surrealness, open endings, sequences that are open to interpretation, abstractness. And these are things that are rather rare in mainstream media. And with the way that the critics are growing in stature and popularity, I do see them making it a part of mainstream Nollywood soon. Now, I don't know if that is their plan, or I don't know if that's going to happen, or if that's not going to happen. But either way, I'd recommend everyone to check out their content and support these guys, because all said and done, despite all the support they've got, despite all the coverage they've got, they've been covered by CNN, BBC, Reuters, all of that. And despite all of that, when you go and check out their videos, it isn't very nice to see that they're just getting a couple of thousands. I mean, these guys should be hitting millions effortlessly. So yeah, and on that note, I'll be dropping links to their channels and videos down here. Do watch them, do support them, and that's it for this time's video. Do like, share, comment, subscribe as the drill goes. That's it for this time. Till next time, this is me, Nollywood Fellow, signing off. Bye.